Welcome, everybody, to The Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Chris Stewart, Trent Richardson, AJ McCarron. So glad you're with us as new episodes of the show drop each week on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. If you're looking for the show, just go to thedynastybama.com. At The Dynasty Bama is the hub. If you're listening, we ask you to rate, review, and share all across social media. No shock what we're talking about today. Reaction to what went wrong in Alabama's 23-21 loss to Oklahoma. We're going to get some of your reactions to that game as well. We'll dive into how to fix the issues that plagued the Crimson Tide in the loss to the Sooners. And we'll also talk big picture of where things stand after the loss itself. Guys, so much interest in it. Really didn't wait until today to talk. I know that AJ, you hopped on social media last night and did some things or on Sunday night, I should say, and got a chance to interact just a little bit with the fan base, which is obviously disappointed because let one get away. It's one thing you lose to a better team, and that's not diminishing what Oklahoma did, but the reality is Bama was their own worst enemy in that game.
Yeah.
At least to me. You may feel differently.
I agree. I mean, you had 4 turnovers. And you can't win. I mean, it's hard to win with just one. I mean, you got to think. I had played for a ton of great coaches, but Saban used to always tell me each turnover is, from a analytical standpoint, is like 3.5 points per turnover is how they calculate it. And so when you turn the ball over 4 times and you lose by 2, well, just one turnover, that's the difference in the game, right? From a analytical standpoint. So, there's a lot of disappointed people, but at the same time, like you can always find a positive in the negative. And right now, I mean, you got to talk about, I think, some things that myself and Trent have, and you, Chris, have been talking about for weeks and weeks now, from a sense of things that we see that the team could be better at, and things that we've been mentioning that could come up and, bite them in the rear end in the long run. And I think some of those things definitely showed in this game on Saturday versus OU.
Trent?
Where do I start? And look, we're not far off, y'all. And I'm not going to just bash these guys, but I will say this. Like AJ just said, when the stuff is on the line and the game's on the line, and the stuff that we have been, hyping about, how we've been, talking about, that we need certain things to happen for us to be an elite offense, for us to be a balanced team, and it haven't happened yet, and it showed. And people going to expose us of what we can do, what we do very bad. If you don't do a certain thing good, they're going to expose it. And they're going to find, this is the SEC, they're going to find it. And whatever you, like, and this is a copycat league. So whatever people have killed you on all year, they're going to definitely do it. And so, and I said something about special team last week, and special team got to be big. It's 3 phases to the game. We all know it. And with college football, with special team still being special team that we know, we got to play it. Yeah. We got to play it. And if you don't, and it can cost us deadly, and it did.
To me, I mean, there are different things that you can point to quick. The turnovers that they forced. I hate to have any criticism of the defense, and this is not a criticism. It's just a reality. Because defense is what has kept Alabama in so many ball games all year and allowed you to be in this position to begin with. But they get 3 takeaways. Alabama drops 2 potential interceptions. That's one of several things that you can point to. But to me, it really is special teams. They make 3 field goals. They make a 25-yarder, 52-yarder, and a 24-yarder. We get a 36-yarder blocked, and the kicker's throwing a fit because the snap was high. And I get it. AJ, you're a holder. You are a holder. You know better than I. Okay. And people say just make the kick. There are those that say just make the kick regardless. I got no comparison of kicking a ball game under pressure. I played a little bit of golf younger competitively, and you're standing there on the golf ball, and on your downswing, leaf blows across the path, bug flies on the ball itself starts to move, no fault of your own. You can say, just hit it, but it's something that's thrown you off your rhythm. That being said, you can't stand there and rip a teammate over it in the middle of the field and throw a fit over that just because the snap was a little bit high. They still got the snap down, and it's not as if he'd been perfect prior to that.
No.
That all is stuff that bothers me about that. And again, we got a lot of there are a ton of different things you can point to that would have allowed us to have the outcome that we wanted. But that's one area that I haven't heard as much talk about that really bothers me is make one kick, make one field goal there, and you're fine.
Listen, I'm be honest. Talty has struggled, right?
Absolutely.
It's no secret. With his struggles and the position of being a kicker, and I guess people, if they have a question on, well, how can you talk about kickers? Well, hell, I was a holder for 4 years out of 5 at Alabama, right? I was really 5, but starter as the starting holder for 4. I've worked with kickers my entire career. I mean, even going into the pros. All right, in Cincinnati, I was the backup holder. They are the most mentally wackos you could possibly ever be around on a football field. And as soon as something's not perfect for them, it messes with them. And this is for somebody that is just nailing kicks right down the middle over and over, right? Especially for somebody that's struggled and been all over just by themselves all year. It hasn't been the operation. I mean, Talty, there's been good operations. Talty, now, I will, in his defense, the holds have not been great. There's been multiple times that the holder has not had the ball tilted enough towards him, been upright enough.
Right.
You want up and slight tilt to you and slight forward. That's the best way for the ball to penetrate into the air, for them to get it up. Different kickers are all different, but I've seen Talty have to kick laces being sideways, laces being back to him. In that scenario the other night, though, it didn't, it in no way did it mess with Talty's operation because he didn't have to hesitate. The snap was high, but the holder did a great job of getting the ball down all in the same time frame. Talty didn't have to hesitate or anything. The ball was getting tipped. It got tipped. I mean, I don't know if he makes it, if it doesn't, but it's the fact that it got tipped. The D lineman or linebacker, whoever it was, made an unbelievable play. They made a great play by knowing Coach Venables, knowing the rules and jumping over him in that scenario. Like, I just don't understand. Talty, listen, he's from a mental standpoint, he is probably on edge on every kick. He's probably freaking out. I mean, the goalpost is normally this wide for him. Right now, he's probably looking at it and it's this big, right? Like,
I got no problem with the miss. I get it. Stuff's got to happen. It's not the miss or even him being frustrated with that. It's how it was handled in the middle of the field when the snapper had obviously taken responsibility, grabs his head immediately, and everybody knows. Everybody saw it. Everybody knows. And, because they're tapping you on the head when you miss a kick when there's no problem. Just don't do that to a teammate in the middle of the field in the middle of the game. That was the only piece of it. Again, that's I'm not going to say that's down the list because those 3 points are one of several plays we can point to that one goes differently. It's different. The pick six early was frustrating because it feels like, all right, yeah, we gave up 3 early because we gave up a 43-yard punt return to put them in great field position. And then, Trent, we turn around and we're about to take the lead, and now you're down 10-0 because of the interception. For whatever reason, that's a big, big swing in that football game because you're playing catch-up, it seems, the rest of the day.
Yeah, and listen, I've been saying this. I'm like, we got to be able to finish. We got to be able to finish in the red zone. We're driving each time. Like, if you look at our stat sheet, we win a game. If you look at our stat, but the games ain't played by the stat sheet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they had 130-some yards on offense, y'all. Or was it passing? Something like that.
It's passing. They had 200-plus rushing, but we had 400 total.
With 60 or 70 in rushing. So, listen, we drive, and we're going to get back on that subject, right? We drive, getting ready to go into the end zone. I think the play before that was I was just watching it a few minutes ago. I think it was a penalty to the play before that or something went bad before he threw the interception.
I don't remember either.
I can't remember.
But whatever it was and I'm thinking about the throw. Was it who was it?
It was a great scheme by Venables.
The defense.
Yeah. So they listen, and Trent, you've done a great job of calling this out, right? And you called it out during the LSU week. You said, hey, they've kind of shown the blueprint of putting pressure on our offense is to bring pressure because one, the communication has not been great at all times. 2, the running backs are not doing a very good job of picking the pressure up right now. 3, teams are starting to get enough film on Ty in this offense and what our scheme is, what our tendencies are to do in certain situations. We were in a 3-by-1 in that situation. All right, you had Isaiah Horton out to the right playing the X by himself. They showed pressure just straight up. I believe Ty ends up saying, hey, off of these 2 guys, if they blitz over here, they were showing both ways. If these 2 guys come, we're playing hot. Our hot adjust or our sight adjust is a slant. And if you watch it, it's almost like 8 up quarters shell to it. The safety at the snap of the ball, the corner's more like tighter. He's not pressed, but he's up more than he's off. Well, they swap. Corner starts to bail back. The safety drives on it right to that spot. Him and Isaiah hit as the ball's coming. I mean, it's lucky it didn't get picked off by him because it was an unbelievable job by the safety, seeing it, recognizing it, and they dropped towards the field. They ended up bringing number 4 over to the weak side off his right, and the safety drove on it. Bam, bam, play right there. The ball goes straight to the corner that was belling and sitting in that zone. It was a great job, but to go back to the point, Trent has said this for multiple weeks where, listen, LSU really showed it. Other teams have shown it to where if they bring pressure on us, we're having issues right now. And I think bringing pressure rattles Ty a little bit. As much as I hate to say it,
happy feet.
He starts to, in the pocket, kind of like his eyes more than anything. And I think he's getting in this phase a little bit of starting to drift in the pocket instead of always stepping up. And that happens when you don't feel comfortable with the protection. And there have been enough struggles on this team that we and
Yeah.
Trent can speak to this more, but from a running back standpoint, it's not all just on the O-line. People love to blame O-line about it, but we weren't just getting killed off the edge the whole time. It's from within, and it's running backs having to step up and make blocks, and it's not happening right now.
All right. So all of those things that we've talked about, and again, a lot of credit goes to Oklahoma because of what they did to put them. Those were takeaways. You know, we talk about giveaways. It depends on your perspective, but they were takeaways with what they did. In fact, Ty's quote, I think, was they brought it one time that was on tape. It was against Tennessee. They were putting 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. They were bringing 2 off the edge. It's what I threw my pick 6 on. It's what I fumbled on. And there's one time where I picked it up and they checked out and they brought it to the other side. That's the chess match that takes place over the course of the game, which we talk about the lack of production running the football for Alabama. But in this game, while, yeah, you would have loved to have run it more, we ran it better than we have. Trent, the inability to pick up things in the backfield, and not just with the running backs, but that's among the things where just not getting it done right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna speak directly to the running backs, and I'm gonna be critical about a running back. I'm a running back, but at the same time, I want these guys to get better, and I don't want these guys taking any type of, as I'm, saying thing about that game. But at the end of the day, bro, y'all got to play better, especially when it comes to pass blocking. I'm telling you, the number one way to end up on that damn bench is not being able to block for that quarterback.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you always 9 times out of 10, you're always the last guy in the progression as a receiver, as a running back, coming out the backfield. Or the third look, whatever. I don't know how many looks you can get at that time, but you're always the last look. And so for me, man, I take that personally. Coach Burns, and it's not talking about their running back coach. I know he's a great guy, and I know he's teaching these guys everything he can. But Coach Burns, he dug that into us so deep that if you cannot pass block, you was not going to be on that field. And so if people look at it like Mark was okay in pass blocking, but Mark used to have problems too. And so, but Mark ended up getting better because he knew that I was on his trail and I was gonna keep getting better. And he didn't want to get taken off the field on third downs. And I respect that. And that's why me and Mark pushed each other. And essentially I went to Eddie. But when it come down to it, man, like you got to do whatever you got to do to make sure that quarterback is protected. Man, I've seen guys at practice, if Greg or AJ was to get touched, like a tap, or the old line was on your tail. And I just need those guys to have those qualities when it comes to the backfield. Like I don't want it just to be the O-line pass blocking or taking up for the court. Nah, running back, that's your position too. That's your job too. That's a part of being in that passing game too. You're a part of it. So you got to be able to protect it because when it comes time for you to get the ball, you want the same protection, right? So.
Yeah. AJ, let's go to a sequence at the end of the first half and what it led to in the second. We talked about the missed field goal by Talty, but that was prior to that was another example of how good the offense has been in 2 minutes at the end of the first half. I mean, week after week, they've done some really, really big things to give themselves a chance. And I thought, as poorly as Alabama had played in the first half, if you could get to the locker room deadlocked at 17, it was going to do something to Oklahoma mentally. And granted, Bama took the lead before they turned it over again, which set things up for Oklahoma to take a 23-21 lead they held on to. But the big reason was you failed to score at the end of the first half. And then the second half, you have a 7-play, 75-yard drive, but you only have 57 yards. Steve Gorgie, our producer, points out 57 yards on the next 4 possessions, 2 punts, a strip sack, and the turnover on downs to end the game. What changed? Was it Alabama offensively, or was it what Oklahoma was bringing on the defensive side?
You're talking about from a grand scheme of things?
Yeah. What
I
forced
think
why so little success after things had actually, because even on the turnovers, Alabama been driving the football. I mean, they
yeah,
moved the ball very effectively against Oklahoma in the first half.
yeah. Um, I listen. I think it goes back to, and I don't want to pass over what you just talked about and Trent talked about, right? Not to go back and skip this question, but I think Ty's quote says it all. Okay, we'll just talk about some things because and I'm not beating up on our team, right? I'm trying to
I got it.
let fans understand the things we've been talking about and concerns that we have from not only success of playing at Alabama, right? But many years of playing the game of football. It goes back to, and I'm gonna
And
tie
and
this
and
in
it's
with
and
his
it's speaking off embarrassment too, y'all. It ain't just the success in many years playing football, like AJ was just saying. Like, we agree with everything y'all saying. Me and AJ, we're on the same page. Trust me. But that's just to piggyback off what he's saying. It's from being embarrassed too. We've been there. Now go on, AJ. My bad.
right. No, you're good. So what's one thing? And just see if y'all remember. What's one thing I've kept saying that I thought was a concern on our offense that involves a clock? What have I been saying all year long with the play clock?
Management at play clock. Yeah, letting get down too far.
So it goes back to it, right? When you
Yeah.
play, and your question about why have we been so successful, because you with 2 minute, you're playing fast. There's not a ton of checks to it, right? You don't
Yeah.
always have to check out of each protection because I know what hots are built in, what side adjusts are built in. I can just get the ball out. I know what schemes I'm running. There's not a lot of thought process. When you simplify an offense on 2 minute, you run your favorite plays. Your coaches and OCs and quarterbacks go over this list a ton, right? And you've repped it all year, all off season. So you're playing much faster. It's not always trying to figure out the perfect protection for each play. It's okay, this is a protection called. Boom, we are going. We know, hey, off this one, off of one, if we're in a 5-man pro, if we're in a 6-man pro, off two, like it's built in. So you're just playing football. To go back to Ty's quote and things that we've talked about, he talks about they got him on that one. They know they didn't change the protection because they're showing from both ways. Boom, they end up bringing it weak. They play it perfect. It's a great call by the defense. He says they got him on the other one, on the fumble, right? When you allow teams, and it's like you said, Chris, a chess match, but when you play this with teams and with good defensive coaches, Saban used to do this all the time. Show one way, you change the protection, you think and then
Yep.
all of a sudden they spin it on you and it catches
Mhm.
you by surprise. But I think that's an issue because we have allowed the play clock to run down for so long. And when you come out and as a defensive coach and you understand, all right, this team's going to take every second on the play clock, we're going to show one thing. And then, hey, when they change, we have an automatic call that just flips the whole thing. And we're going to bring it from the other way. So I think to go back to your original question, though, I think the reason we've been so successful in 2 minute is because we're just playing fast. You're not having to think. You know what's built in. You're just going to play ball. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes we try to outsmart ourselves in normal offense, and why you haven't seen the success from running an every down offense that we've seen compared to our 2 minute offense.
You know what it reminds me of, and
My
we
opinion.
were up against a break. It reminds me of a lot of times, especially earlier in games, what I would see Kirby do when he was coordinator at Alabama, where you're trying to get everything just perfect. You know, you're trying to line up everything just perfect. And I would sit there and look, I don't know squat, but I know this. We got the 11 best players in college football on defense. Let them go. You've prepped them. Just let them go make a play because they're looking over to the sidelines, and now it looks like they're confused because you're trying to line that piece up just right, and you just go play, and chances are those guys were going to make plays. I know it's not that simple, but there are some times where I think you can overdo it and try to put the pieces in place just perfectly instead of trusting the prep that's been done. And I think everybody's guilty of that at times. Who can minimize it is a big question. Maybe
but
not.
And I'll let Trent go. But to your point right there is such a thing that you outsmart yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because you spend so much time, and that was always a hard part for our coaching staff when it came to bowl games, right? Do I want to watch so much film because they already had to be in the building so much because Saban made them, right? But do you spend so much time watching film that you end up overthinking everything because you're like, you come up with your game plan, but you're like, let me watch 2 more games right here, or let me watch third down. And then all of a sudden you see another blitz, and it might be a blitz they only brought once, but then all of a sudden you're like, well, if they bring that against us, we got to go to this. So you end up overthinking and outsmarting yourself and putting so much in that you're not just saying, hey, our dudes are dudes, right? Their team has some Jags on it, and let our dudes just go out play their Jags. And so for everybody that wants to know what a Jag is, it's just a guy in football terms. All right, he's just a guy. Like, and I'm not saying OU is that. I'm just saying for us, usually,
Right.
Alabama versus anybody. So
trust who you are.
That's it. Right.
Yeah. Got it. All right. We got to get a break. Great start to all this. Actually, we're going to talk some of the second segment about your reactions to the game and questions that we got on social media about this one. Stay with us as we had a busy first segment. We got more coming up, though, here on this edition of The Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. College football not feeling as juicy as it once did? Well, let me put you on to something that'll shake up your Saturday and every other day of the week. Because now that Wendy's has crispy chicken tendies and a powerhouse lineup of new sauces, it's time you transferred to the hottest team in the league.
That's right. Team Tendies. Wendy's Tendies. They're making an undeniable rookie season, one for the books.
Enjoy first-string flavor from some 5-star recruits. Rep your new favorite team everywhere you go, but make sure to cheer with your mouth closed. Take it to the end zone of savory sauces like honey barbecue, creamy ranch, and the new Wendy's signature sauce to experience a total taste bud blitz of flavor. It's time to join a team that won't upset you with an upset. Taste the phenom that's gracing the gridiron with its juicy, crispy, and tendery tendencies.
Don't fumble the bag. Commit to Team Tendies and call the most delicious plays in the playbook. All right, huddle up. Tendies on 3. Tendies on 3. 1, 2, 3. Tendies. Let's do this.
Wendy's Chicken Tendies, now at participating U.S. Wendy's.
The holidays are coming up fast, and if you've been putting off that home improvement project, now's the time to knock it out and save big.
As America's most trusted home remodeler, West Shore Homes has been helping people transform their home for nearly 20 years.
Their process is quick, easy, and now they're making it even easier to get started while saving big with Black Friday savings. They're doing free installation on all projects. So whether it's a new bathroom, windows, front door, patio door, or even flooring, if you schedule now, they'll waive the installation cost. With more than 60,000 5-star reviews, West Shore Home is the trusted name for home improvements. They only use crews of highly trained employee installers, never subcontractors, so you know the work will get done right the first time.
To get started, just visit westshorebath.com to lock in Black Friday savings before they're gone. That's westshorebath.com for Black Friday savings from West Shore Home.
Welcome back to The Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. We talk about where you can find us on social media. new podcast episodes dropping every week on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. But we also ask you to interact when you get an opportunity at the Dynasty Bama all across social media. And we've guys gotten a lot of input because I know you called for that on Sunday. Sent it out, and let's go right to it. Tucker says, I think Bama played one of their worst games they could have played, gave OU 20 of their 23 points. When you look at the big punt return, the pick six, the fumbled punt, calls it a muff punt, but I think was a
not
good
a muff.
play by
That's
them.
just a fumble,
Yeah. Ty's fumble. He says, Tucker says the defense got an A if he's grading it, and Bama wins that game 8 out of 10 times. Focus on what's in front of you, which is all your goals. That's very true. It's everything is still there, but you can't make mistakes the way you did, not even against Auburn. And I don't mean that as a slam. I'm just saying Auburn's not as good as Oklahoma.
On offense.
I don't think. Oh, on offense. But if you make the mistakes you made, then you're going to get the same result, a disappointing result. No argument there, obviously.
No.
Let's just say amen and move on to the next verse.
Well, I think Tucker's right. I mean, it's hard to say, Bama wins. That's a fan mindset. Bama wins 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, what he's talking about, but hell, you never know. That's why they play the game.
Sure. Chuck's got the question or the statement. I think it was the right move on the final drive, slowing things down to try to make sure we had the last possession. I do have a question for Trent. And Trent, this is from Chuck. It says, with the regression of Jam and the uptick from Hill, do you think the coaches should look at a different running back combo? Maybe Hill and A.K. Deer? Let you chime in on that. He was asking you.
No. So you telling me you want to take you telling me take Jam out the game? No, you don't do that. I mean, y'all, we got to realize too, as a running back, it's a difference in the game when you're the starter and you're the guys that's coming behind. It's exciting to see those guys come behind, but I'm telling you, linebackers and defensive ends and say they're not up on their toes like they are up on their toes when the starter's out there. They got film on you. They know what you can do. You're a starter for a reason. Whether you're the smartest, whether you're the strongest, wherever it is, you're the starter. You're the most put together running back to claim that, that starting position. Now, do I think they need to give Daniel Hill more reps? I definitely think he need to get the ball more. I know he got the ball a lot more this last game. Do I think they need to add A.K. Deer? I've been hyping about that boy all year. I seen him run against Louisiana Monroe. He had a great game. I just like his running style and that kid get downhill. I would love for him to play, but right now, do he have enough games right now that you don't burn that red shirt now? Because I think it's what they can play 4, and I think they can play the bowl game. So I think he can play those bowl games. He can play in the playoffs. I think that I think that's a conversation. But for a guy who haven't played all year in real game reps, like just to put him out there, man, he gonna have to have that he gonna have to have them reps, and I think he can do it because I seen him run and I seen him play. But I think Daniel Hill need to get more reps, and I think he need to get them early on in the game and get downhill.
AJ, quick thought. Do you even worry about red shirt anymore? If you believe a guy's got potential?
Yeah.
I know if he's not ready. I get it. If he's not
that's
ready,
a tough one.
Then you don't. But if a kid can play, is it the same concern and conversation that it used to be? I guess the easy short answer is no. But
I think it had to go by the position, because if you got a quarterback, you got 2 quarterbacks that can play right now, and both of them want to be in school at the same place. That's just tough.
Yeah, I think it's a lot off the position you're in and how much depth you have in that position. And I think Bama thinks they have enough depth and for their younger guys to get some experience and not have to be thrown in the fire. And hell, I mean, we don't know if AK Deer might be great running the football. But can he
Yeah,
pick
we
up
haven't
a
seen him
pass?
pass block.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pass pro,
Right.
right? And you don't
That's the
throw a
issue.
young kid in there and kill his confidence from that sense either.
exactly.
Sure.
And then you don't want to be like
Nor
every
do
time he
you
goes
tick
in,
off.
he's, huh?
No, I was going to say, you don't want to hurt his confidence. Same time, you don't want to tick off somebody else on the depth chart taking their reps,
Right.
their carries by playing a guy that may not be there, may not
Yeah.
be able to help you and hurt you in the
And
process.
you don't want to key the
Last-
defense either on, all right, every time this kid's in and they're running the football.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like you said, it's a chess match.
Yeah, it's a difference
right.
when you're the guy.
Yeah, big difference. Let's go one more from X. Guy says Ty, number two things. One, Ty not passing with the confidence he had earlier in the season hasn't been the same since Missouri. And number two, no idea why the offense runs the play clock down to a second almost every play. Can't be good for the O-line mobility. We talked about that. Frankly, I can't remember if it was during the break or if it was on the while we were rolling that we had that conversation. But I'll let you guys chime in. First of all, on Ty not having or showing the same confidence in this guy's opinion, and I think he's pretty accurate with it, since the Missouri game.
See, I would say I don't think it's confidence. I think it goes back to mechanics. I think when you look at Ty early in the year, he was standing tall in the pocket, and nothing was off platform, right? To where his feet were under him, he was finishing his throws and doing the right mechanics. I think you've seen his accuracy fall off a little bit. One, I think downfield throws have really fallen off for him. He's missed a lot of downfield throws from 20 plus.
Underthrown a few
He's
too.
underthrown a lot of deep balls. Or if we miss, it's either underthrown or overthrown by 5 yards.
Yeah.
So I think the inaccuracy on that from that standpoint, but I think the throws that he can make and should be able to make in his sleep, and I know Ty can. It comes back to his mechanics. I think he got in such a feel of making off schedule plays and kind of missing pass rush and then kind of running out and making somebody else miss and then completing a pass. Like I think it's gotten so off schedule and so off platform to where in the pocket that's affected him some to where I mean he should just stand in there, good mechanics and deliver the football, and it's more of falling away and kind of trying to be too off platform um and then I mean I've talked about it for I don't agree with it affects the O-line mobility in the last part of that's question and that statement from the fan, but if anything, it just affects the communication side of things, right? When you run the play clock down
Yeah.
and you're trying to change protection and you can't change it back because teams are starting to show one way and come another. And I think that's the issue from a play clock standpoint is you're not giving yourself enough time to make adjustments. So yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go back to some of our stuff we wanted to get into, and among those, fixing some of the key issues going forward. And one of those will stay with Ty. 5 consecutive games with a fumble after being sacked. Oklahoma got to him 4 times. He's been sacked 19 times on the season. What can you do to eliminate some of the negative plays that do end up being game changers at times, such as Saturday?
Well, you got to bring in more people in protection.
Yeah.
Whether that's Cuevas or tight ends or your chipping. I mean, I think we could run more 2 and 3 man concepts than trying to get everybody out to help from a protection standpoint. So if we're having to keep the tight end in, a little more. And on Cuevas's touchdown, it was that, right? He was acting like he was staying in pass pro, and then it was a great scheme by us. It looked like, all right, when the tight end stays in, they're going to double back on the single receiver, and it's almost a delay release, and that's what it was, and he scored a touchdown on it. It's getting to more of those things, but I mentioned it last week. One thing that helps slow down pass rush and everything is screen game. I mean, we haven't been.
It's like we went away.
We haven't been running screens. Like I said it last week. I said, hey, with this pass rush, we need to run screens coming into this game. Like you got to have a screen game, whether that's receiver screens, running tunnel screens, chip screens with the halfback, or just true halfback screens. Like I don't. We really didn't do much. I mean that's the tough part. I think when your O-line's struggling, you got to find ways to help them out, and that involves more blockers from a Max Pro standpoint, and then adding more screens to your pass game.
Had a couple of them, but didn't have a ton of success.
Yeah, I think it was 5 for 16 yards. I think that's how many screens, but
yeah. So you want to see more. We need to get to more is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I just think we need to expand upon the screen game, right? Where that little tunnel screen we ran against Florida State, that ended up Ryan got hurt on, but expanding the screen game, I think, will help from a pass rush standpoint.
Let's finish this segment positively. Defense outstanding again. A lot's been made about the ability to defend mobile quarterbacks, but for the most part, they did a really good job containing Materi. He did have the 20-yard touchdown run, but that was after they were given a short field to work with from the turnover. Longest drive, 41 yards. The only offensive TD came after. Again, they started at the 31 following the fumble by Hollywood on the punt return. Materi, 138 yards passing, 23 running, sacked twice, and they were just 3 of 13 on third downs. The defense continues to not just keep you in games, but to win you ball games week after week, although unfortunately, obviously, didn't get that result this week. Trent?
I mean, defense playing good, man. I know we missed a couple tackles, and dropped a couple interceptions, but at the end of the day, we had 3 turnovers? No, was it? How many turnovers did we? Like defense playing like 17 points off turnovers, y'all. Like that's not on the defense. And so when your defense is instead of trying and fighting, like you owe them a favor to help these guys out. You owe them a favor. So listen, the guys that we got on to earlier, they're playing lights out. Brady's playing lights out. Jefferson's playing lights out. I liked what Lawson was doing. Pierre's playing lights out. Tim, he's getting a push up front. But how long can these guys keep holding the whole team down like this through 60 minutes? Like we got to be able to put some type of points up on the board. So and keep that doggone offense off the doggone field. Their offense.
I think Kane's done an unbelievable job. I mean, this defense has grown so much from the pass rush to secondary playing together at linebackers. I mean, I think hell. I mean, they really have. They've been playing great and keeping teams out of the end zone, and that's all you can ask for. I mean, offense has got to put a whole game together, and for whatever reason, we just haven't. All 3 phases haven't played their A+ game at the same time, and you're going to have struggles when that doesn't happen.
Guys, we come back.
I keep saying this.
Go ahead.
Like,
sorry,
my bad. I keep
no.
Like,
go ahead.
Like, we keep leaving a lot of football out there, and not to end up on this note, but this is something that we keep saying. Like, we leaving a lot of football out there, and it's exciting to know that we can keep going up. But at the same time, these are the games that we cannot leave that type of football out there.
It's a great point. All right, when we come back, we're going to get into our must-watch games of the week and discuss the impact the loss has on Alabama's SEC title and CFP hope. Stay with us as we continue. Final segment of the Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, coming your way next. Support for the Dynasty comes from Google. We hear commentators talk about the spread offense all the time, but what if you don't know exactly what that means or what makes it different from other offensive schemes?
You can keep wondering, ask your friends, hope that they know what they're talking about, or you can use AI mode in Google search.
You can just type, help me understand what a spread option offense is and why a football team would choose to run it. Yep, you can ask all that in one search, and you'll get an organized and helpful AI-powered response with everything you need to know.
But it doesn't end there. Let's say you want to keep going deeper. With AI mode, you don't have to start a whole new search. You can ask direct follow-ups, like break down how it compares to the pro-style offense based on overall philosophy, types of formations used, and pace.
AI mode is great at these types of comparisons, giving you a side-by-side analysis and helping you get the full story from one question to the next.
So if you don't want to just watch the game, but really understand it, you can just ask Google.
You know that feeling when your team wins? It's electric. You're pacing the room, texting your group chat, yelling like you called the game-winning play yourself. Now imagine that winning energy hits right as your DoorDash order arrives. Perfect timing. Drinks are cold, pizza's hot, wings and fries are perfectly crispy. Now you're not just a fan, you're a winner. DoorDash turns every good college football game day into a great one, with game day favorites delivered right to your door, right when you need them the most. So go ahead, ride that high, celebrate that W. Just try not to spike the remote out of excitement when the food shows up. Your team wins, you win. DoorDash delivers the W in food form. Back for our final segment this week on the Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Of course, thedynastybama.com is where you can find us. But also, if you want to rate and review, we hope you will, go to at the Dynasty Bama all across social media. Guys, chance now for us to take a look at our Wonder Fan must-watch games of the week, if I'll finally get it right. It's brought to you, of course, by Wonder Fan, the app that pays you to be a fan. Wonder Fan, absolutely free to use, and you can earn rewards for doing things you already love, like attending games, watching live sports on TV, and now watching podcasts like ours, The Dynasty, on the YouTube platform. AJ, none of that happens if you don't download the app first.
Keep telling them, just go download the app. It only takes a couple minutes. I mean, you get paid in points to watch football. I mean, how much better can that be, right?
That's good stuff.
Go do it, get paid, and get some cool prizes off of it.
If you want to get paid to watch the show, it is indeed easy. You'll earn 50 Wonder, or points, as it's called, or Wonder is what it's called, the points, by submitting a screenshot in the Wonder Fan app as you watch our podcast on your connected TV or any second screen, just as you do when you're watching live sports. But there are so many other ways to earn, too. With Tide at home again this weekend, want to remind you that anyone using Wonder Fan's Attend to Earn feature at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny will earn double points all season long. And as always, you'll earn double points when you use Wonder Fan's Watch to Earn feature on any of our must-watch games of the week. Tide, always one of our must-watch games, even when they're playing Eastern Illinois. But what other game will you have your eye on this week, Trent? What are you watching?
I'm going to be watching Arkansas against Texas, man. And
see if Bobby P can get that win.
Yeah, see
that one win he supposedly needed.
That one win that he need to seal that job. But yeah,
he ain't getting that job.
He ain't getting that job now.
He gonna get that job.
Hope he gets that job. He ain't getting that job.
Me too. You get that job, cool. Getting that job. Okay. But yeah, man, yeah, and see kind of Arch keep, building on what he, he's putting up games, and they winning games, and see can Arkansas stop they, I guess playoff hopeful. So, because they can, at this day and age, you can be in the playoffs and be 10-2 or what's the end of the year records now? Because they play a lot
They
more
got
games than we
3.
played.
Yeah.
Oh, you
So
can.
3.
Some,
But
it
you
might
never
be
know.
a team in there. Yeah, that can lose 3 games because it wasn't.
They're still in the
somebody last year.
conversation anyway. Not likely, but still in the conversation.
Yeah. I think
if
they
it
got a
happens.
27% chance of making it or something like that.
Yeah. AJ, what about you?
Missouri at Oklahoma. Listen, Oklahoma's, I think, in the driver's seat to make this thing.
Yeah.
The playoffs in the end. From, being one of the 2-loss SEC schools that are in conversation. I think 5 possibly could be talks of 6 making it. But because you just never know from an ACC standpoint. But I think this is a good test for Oklahoma. You just had a unbelievable win. Are you going to go keep playing well and staying on a high, or is this a trap game? And you let one slip at a time in the season when you shouldn't. So I think this is a very interesting game.
All right. So double points when you use WonderFan's Watch to Earn feature for any of our must-watch games of the week. That's Auburn, Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and, of course, Alabama, Eastern Illinois. The best part, you can redeem these points for things you actually want, like memorabilia, gear and gift cards, I should say, to some of your favorite restaurants and retailers. Trent, we're always checking on you. What you got your eye on this week?
Man, I am going back to Dick's Sporting Goods. TJ had a big game last week, and his feet is still growing. So at the end of the day, he needs some more shoes and socks.
Yeah,
so
not so much a baby needs a new pair of shoes. So that's the route Trent's going. If you're ready to start getting paid to be a fan, visit wonderfan.com or search for WonderFan in the Apple or Android App Store to download the app. That's WUNDER fan. WonderFan, where it pays to be a fan. All right, guys, let's go big picture in the few minutes we've got left. Texas A&M, a historic comeback against South Carolina to stay unbeaten, but the rest of the SEC title picture a lot murkier after Week 12. A&M 7-0, Georgia 7-1, Bama 6-1, Ole Miss 6-1 right now. No team can clinch a spot in the SEC championship game until the final weekend of the season. A lot of different scenarios out there. Let's see. Steven's put all the work in on this. I gotta see if we can get it, if I can get it right. If Alabama wins at Auburn, in all likelihood, it's going to Atlanta. But if Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss all end up tied, there is a scenario, Steve tells us, where Bama gets left out based on their conference opponents having a lower conference winning percentage than Georgia's. That'll require Kentucky to beat Vandy and Florida to beat Tennessee next weekend.
It's just so weird.
Just win, baby.
Why does it not go to the head-to-head?
I guess because there's 3 teams, and because Alabama and Ole Miss have not played, you can't do a full
right. But I know Ole Miss.
That's what.
But it comes down to really Alabama and Georgia. Ole Miss and Georgia would get in if Auburn beat Alabama and Texas beat A&M. That bumps them into the SEC championship. But I believe if they both went out, it's Bama and A&M, right?
Okay.
From the things I've done, and maybe Steve can hop on here, but that's what I've heard is a scenario.
I think it'd be Bama.
There he is. There's our there's the brain trust behind everything.
Hey guys, so in all likelihood, Bama takes care of business. They're going to Atlanta,
right?
But there are
the big
some
old
scenarios out there It's above my math level, above my pay grade, where I believe they can get left out. Bottom line is we're going to learn a lot more after next weekend, and we'll know a lot more after Thanksgiving weekend.
Got it. Good deal. Thank you, buddy. All right. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin said it, feeling among coaches was they'd rather not play in the SEC championship game. And given the injury to Carson Beck in last year's title game, do you give any credence to that? I know it's about championships and all that, but if you can sit there knowing that you're a 2-loss team, let's say Alabama. Yeah, you want to play for an SEC title. I get that, but you won't really care. I know you guys didn't care that you didn't win the SEC title the year you won the Natty. You know, that's a nice ring that LSU got when they won the SEC championship, but then got cleat marks all over them in the national championship game from playing you guys. Am I overthinking that too much or oversimplifying it?
No, I think where it's tough is if you're a 2-loss team going into the SEC championship, right? So if in Bama's sake,
yeah,
all right, if they get the bump, even though they have 2 losses, Georgia only has 1, and they get the bump over them to be in the conference championship game, that's where it's tricky, right? Because you don't know what this committee is going to do. They've said in the past, and hell, they did it last year where SMU had 2 losses, but I believe they had 2 losses, and Stephen, correct me, I think they had 2 losses after the ACC championship game, and they put SMU and Clemson in because Clemson won the ACC. The issue is if Bama loses the SEC championship game and now they have 3 losses, will the committee punish them by losing in the championship game, especially if it's a close game, right? And they're saying, hey, we got to put a 3-way 3-loss team in there.
They did it last year, right?
Do what?
They did it last year, right?
The 3-loss team didn't get in last year.
No, So it's that's where it gets interesting. If you're in Alabama's shoes right now, right, like we are as fans, I don't know if you want to go to that game just because of the question marks behind if you lose the SEC championship game, right? Yeah. The crazy part is Georgia's in the driver's seat on this. Georgia's going to be in the top 4 when the rankings come out. Okay. Georgia could be in the top 4 going into the final week. Once you're in the top 4, they're probably going to stay there. All right. Georgia wins out. They're in the top 4. They don't have to play in the SEC championship game. So say Alabama, either way, I think Georgia's in the driver's seat and they get a first-round bye and not have to play in the SEC championship game, which is wild because they're going to be at number 4 probably tomorrow when the rankings come out. If Bama beats A&M, that puts Bama into the top 4. So now you got Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, Indiana. If A&M wins that game, Bama's out of the top 4. So it still leaves Georgia in there. So if I'm Georgia, I'm rooting for Bama and A&M. I hope y'all win out, right? Because either way, I think they're a lock for a first-round bye in this scenario, and they didn't even have to play in the conference championship. I mean, you got
only bad stuff happens. Yeah, only bad stuff could happen if they play.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the driver's seat right now.
The driver's seat is the 3rd seed in the SEC.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you look at last year, all the teams that had the first round bye didn't play well. Like, I mean, I know everybody's saying, well, I want to be that 5th seed in the conference or in the college football playoffs because you can get a first round home game. And then when it comes to the next round, those teams had success compared to the teams that had a bye for the most part. So, I mean, it's all up in the air, but I think it's just wild that Georgia, I mean, can be in the driver's seat right now and not have to play in the conference championship, and you're almost guaranteed to get a first-round bye. It's a wild scenario we're in.
Yeah, crazy. The times indeed. All right. Again, part of that although crazy. The unthinkable could happen, and it doesn't go well with Eastern Illinois, but you beat Auburn and stuff plays out somehow. You're in the championship game, you win it, you're in. But realistically, you got to get a win Saturday, and
You got to win out.
you got to win out. Let's just go this with everything in front of them. How do you refocus and make sure you finish strong down the stretch, and not just win, but play well? Do what you're supposed to do in games like this. Take care of business. Have such a big lead at the half that you're playing other guys. It's the last home game. It's senior day, and you're getting a ton of guys on the field, and the starters are turning their attention to Auburn before the band comes out at halftime.
To
Go
me,
ahead,
this
Trent.
is when this is when I lean on the leaders. Like, y'all got to make a decision. Like, and we're not just talking about championship here. If y'all talking about getting drafted and all this other stuff, like, a lot of this stuff depends on this, man. So some of these guys, the last time putting on that crimson jersey, like, bro, it's an honor to do what we're doing. So if these guys ain't gonna take it serious, like, they need to get off the field. So, like, it's a challenge to these guys to refocus and play a one-game season every game. And so the run game got to go well. The protection got to go well. The defense got to be hidden. Got to be forcing turnovers. We got to be scoring in the red zone. We got to convert on fourth downs, third downs, and we got to put in specials. We got to add special teams on that too, because it got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because it's been big for us.
Better have
Yeah,
that
I mean-
confidence in special teams before you head to Auburn.
You got to.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is creating confidence again, and going in to Auburn on a high, right? And having that, getting your swag back, getting your confidence back, rhythm, timing, just playing well as a team. Because we all know from experience that's a tough place to play, and they got some voodoo there. So
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some voodoo go our way as well, but you want to be playing well going into that game. You don't want any self-doubt. So go take care of business and play your game.
Yeah. Get it done. That's what we hope Bama does on Saturday. It's what we tried to do today, and hope you enjoyed it. Again, hope you'll like and share wherever you do so on social media. And again, check us out, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Hope you'll check us out always there. For AJ McCarron, for Trent Richardson, I'm Chris Stewart. Thanks for joining us. See you next week, everybody. Get ready for the Iron Bowl and Roll Tide.